the PlayStation Portal, which got announced officially this week. I mean, they kind of previewed it. They called it Project Q. They told us that it was this streaming device, but then they officially called it the PlayStation Portal. And I put out a video about it once they said the price, and I was like, I actually think this is pretty good. But then after I put out my video, I saw that Sony had found some other way to disappoint everybody. And we'll talk about that in a second. But before we get to the big disappointment that everybody has, I'm curious how the two of you felt about the price of the PlayStation Portal, which, by the way, is an 8-inch screen, an 8-inch 1080p screen. It is a cloud streaming device, and it is at $200. Russ, how do you feel about $200 at a price point for this thing?
I think that was when we talked about it previously, when they first started talking about it. I think that was like my hope. Like I was hoping it was going to be $199 or $149, like in an ideal world, but I didn't think that was realistic. So I do think $199 is a good value considering the price of just the controller itself. You know, you get a pretty nice screen and whatnot. What you're getting for your money is pretty solid in terms of the amount of tech, you know, and so I do think that is pretty good. There are some specs. I don't know if they actually showed it or not, but what type of Wi-Fi is it? You know, is it Wi-Fi 6 or is it talking about 5 gigahertz? You know, I don't think they've said that yet. You know, they're just kind of being coy about it, which makes me a little nervous. And then they also haven't said the size of the battery that they're shooting for, like a certain amount of playtime, I think. And so, yeah, those things I think are still unknowns, but still $199. I think that is a pretty fair price coming from Sony, at least.
All right, Rich, what do you think about the 1080p 8-inch screen with a DualSense cut in half slapped on the sides at $200? How do you feel about that as a price?
Yeah, the design looks uninspired. I kind of have the same feeling that Russ, you were mentioning with the Lenovo Legion Go, where I'm just hoping that the designers know what they're doing, and by the time I have it in my hands, it feels better than it looks, right? Because the DualSense is a very comfortable controller, so I have a little bit of not faith, but optimism that it's going to be comfortable. I think the price, they got it right. I didn't expect it to be $199. Certainly, I mentioned that in the previous podcast. I would have liked even lower. I would have liked $149, but Russ is right. This is a good value for what you're getting. I just don't know that there is a huge market for it, considering all the other things we learned about it.
Yeah, and so let's talk about those other things in just a second. I do want to say real quick that I thought that $200 for this is a great price. And just like you guys, $149, this thing would have flown off the shelves. $199, people can definitely think about it. And with 40 million PS5s out there, there's definitely people who are going to buy this thing. But here's why you might not want to. It doesn't have Bluetooth. Like, there's no Bluetooth in this thing. If you want to have wireless headphones, like you're sitting there, you're playing a game on your PlayStation 5. Your wife comes in, she's like, I want to watch whatever show she wants to watch. And you're like, I'm in the middle of this boss fight in Armored Core that I've been fighting for 4 hours, and you know, I'm almost there. Well, okay, now everybody gets what they want. You grab your PlayStation Portal, you put on your headphones, she's watching the show that she wants to watch, you fight the thing in Armored Core, and everybody's happy. Except in order to do that, you can't just use the Bluetooth headphones that you already have. You have to spend, I think it's $200 on the headphones that Sony is selling alongside this thing, which are called PlayStation Link. Well, the connection method is called PlayStation Link, which has some cool stuff. Like, you can connect it to multiple devices. You can have multiple headphones connected to the same device, and it kind of goes back and forth between your PlayStation and your PlayStation Portal, PSP. Like, you could go back and forth between those, kind of like iPhone headphones AirDrop. Go between your AirDrop, like they go between their thing. That's all awesome, but it doesn't have Bluetooth, so you have to use that solution. Russ, what do you think about that? Oh, go ahead, Rich.
I was just going to add that you can use wired headsets, right? There is isn't there a 3.5 millimeter audio jack? So
yeah, I just checked.
Yeah, there is.
That's nice, but yeah, no Bluetooth. So yeah, Russ, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean it's doubling the price of it, right? I mean 199. And that's for the over ear ones. They have earbuds that you can get, and I think those are 100.
Those
But still,
no, those are the Pulse Elite, which are the
yeah.
over ear ones, are 150, and
Oh,
the in ear ones are 200.
oh my
They're called the
gosh,
Pulse
that's
Explorer.
ridiculous. I was going to give them a break, but no, that's terrible. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I get it. I mean, for something that's portable. See, I'm messing up portal and portable. For something that's supposed to be portable, you need to make everything portable and convenient. And when you start taking away those things or adding layers of proprietariness to it, which is like Sony's worst thing, right? They've done that with everything. They've put something proprietary in every one of their devices, be it the memory cards for the PSP and the Vita. Like it's just a pain in the butt to have to deal with that. And I can't believe they keep repeating this mistake. And of all the things, it's with audio. Yeah, I probably will just use a 3.5 millimeter jack, which people would be like, "Hey, that's fine." Everyone's got a headphones that have a jack on it, but still, you want to be wireless. The whole point is to play this thing wirelessly, and you want to have a full wireless experience, and that's just kind of a bummer.
Go ahead, Rich.
Here's some hopium that Sony doesn't deserve whatsoever. So it's not going to happen, but there's a chance. What if PlayStation Link wasn't just for audio, but what if that could also be the way to connect the PlayStation Portal to the PS5? And so you would have a direct connection from the Portal to the PS5 as opposed to going through your local home network and having some lag. So the Wii U controller had a dedicated wireless connection to the Wii U console. And so if the PlayStation Portal did that, then I think that would be a reason to justify the fact that you can't connect outside of the home network and things like that. So that is a little bit of hopium, but I don't actually expect that it'll happen.
Well, actually, you can connect outside of the home network. So that's one piece of information that a lot of us, myself included, had wrong. They say that you need to have 5 megabits upload at your house, but if you really want to have a good connection, it should be 15. And there are definitely people out there that don't have that are going to go home. They're going to buy this thing. They're going to hook it up. It's going to work in their house, and they're going to take it someplace, and it's not going to work. And that's going to be a different experience from other people. So, like, for example, Russ is going to buy this thing, and he's going to be like, I used this the other day, and I was at work, and I pulled this thing out, and I was playing this thing on my lunch break, and it was awesome. And I'm going to hear that, and I'm going to be like, thanks for the recommendation, Russ. And I'm going to go out and buy that, and we're going to have a different experience because we don't have the same internet connection.
Right.
And then I'm going to be mad at Russ because Russ is a jerk and a liar, and he's clearly a shill for PlayStation. You jerk. Clearly. What is your problem?
It's all over my face. The Sony show.
Yeah. So I think that I like that it is usable outside of your house, but they did specifically say that you can't use it with the PlayStation streaming service. I forget what it's called now because they changed the names or whatever.
It's just PS Plus, right?
Right. So with PS Plus, you can stream some games to your PlayStation instead of actually playing them, and you're not playing it from your PlayStation. You're playing these games from a server in the cloud. That is not compatible with this for whatever reason. I'm confident that that's a firmware update, but you shouldn't buy something based on the hopes of a firmware update down the line. So I think that's another huge mistake from this.
Question. Go ahead.
Go.
I was just saying, I had another.
I'll take it. I thought another missed opportunity, right, being in some sort of Android or whatever it is, was just native like emulation, right? Like PS1, maybe PS2, but certainly PSP. Like you could have just had those as options that you can buy and download on this device. And I don't know why they didn't do that. So now we have to wait for a jailbreak.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Russ? Are we going to get that?
I don't think it's going to happen just because of onboard storage. I mean, we don't know yet, but there's no micro SD card slot. So, I mean, it's better than having a memory card, I guess. But so the question I had is whether or not this will work on a PS4, because there are a lot of PS4 owners still out there, and whether or not this is something someone could buy that just kind of doubles the amount of people that could use it. I don't know. I haven't seen anything about it.
So it says specifically for the PS5. I don't think that it's going to be compatible with the PS4. I would love to be incorrect about that, But if you want to play a PS4, like you used to be able to stream to your PS Vita, right?
Vita, yeah.
You can and to a phone from your PS4. You could always do that too.
Okay. I tried using the. I ended up buying the desk, not the desktop, the TV version of the Vita.
Yeah.
PlayStation TV. Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up buying one of those secondhand, and I hooked it up, and it was a terrible experience. And I have a good network at my house, and it was a very bad experience. So I never tried that stuff again. So I don't know. I think that, boy, I was ready to buy one of these things. I might still, just to make a video. I was ready to buy one of these things because I love my PS5. I think it's a fantastic system. This has an 8-inch screen, and just being able to grab it and just take it to different rooms of the house and play games. I was sold for $200, but the fact that the doesn't have the audio the way that I want, and the fact that like it doesn't have access to the cloud games, I don't know. Like that's just very, very short-sighted from Sony, which I guess we should just come to expect from them because that's the kind of things that they do, especially when they're the market leader.
Yeah, so to put it in context, right? So the AYN Odin 2 was just launched like last week, and that is starting at $299. And this is an Android-based handheld that has like a lot of the features that I would want in a handheld, you know, like analog triggers, Hall sensors, like all that kind of stuff, right? And it's got a nice big screen, 6 inches, so not huge, but 1080p, and has a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip inside of it, which means it's going to be able to play anything that's on Android, all the way up through PlayStation 2, GameCube, all that kind of stuff. And also it can work for streaming just fine. And so it's actually going to have Wi-Fi 7 inside of it. And so for an additional $100, you could get a device that, yes, can do all the same things that this PlayStation Portal can do, other than like the haptic trigger things, you know, all that kind of stuff. You can't do that, but you can do everything else, you know, streaming and whatnot. And you could do it all the offline stuff too, all the emulation, all that gaming, all the Android games too. And so
And Bluetooth.
Yeah. And Bluetooth. Right. And an SD card
What's the
storage.
screen size on that?
6 inches, 1080p. So
Okay.
it's not the best, you know, but still, I think 6 inches is a pretty great size for a portable handheld anyway. So
Yeah, I mean, and Sony just keeps saying, "Hey, by the way, this has all the things that your DualSense controller does." A lot of the games just don't take advantage of that stuff. Like, I cannot tell you how many games that are first-party games that don't even use the gyro in the 6-axis or 6 DualSense, whatever it's called. Like, they don't even use the gyro in that thing. And there's so many games that don't bother with the haptic feedback on the triggers, which is cool when it happens. Like, when you use it, you're like, whoa, that was neat. But most games just ignore those features because those features aren't on all the other systems. So why bother putting the effort into making those things work? I don't know. I feel like Sony is focusing on the wrong stuff here. But you know what? They're winning this generation right now. 40 million systems have sold. So maybe I'm just wrong about it, but let us know what you guys think in the comment section if you're watching this over on the YouTube channel. And if you're not watching it on the YouTube channel and you listen to the show, then just head on over to nerdnest.tv and subscribe. All right. Baldur's Gate. Hey everybody, 3. Bill here from the Nerd Nest podcast. If you enjoyed this video, then you're probably going to enjoy the full episode, which you can find right here. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you at the next one.